my gosh. I couldn't even stop with that because of the story that's being told, the honesty that he tells that with. Hey, it's Tom Stevens, your resident psychotherapist from Reaction Therapy, here to break down lyrics to none other than Ren. Ren has, well, the S word. Can't say the actual word. I'm afraid I'm going to get in trouble or something, but it's kind of when you want to end your life. I don't like it, but I like talking about it. I don't want people to end up in that spot, but I do want people to always voice, because it's better to talk about it than to keep it quiet and act on it. Look, without further ado, I just want to get right into this because it's Ren. You know he's got all the skills. You know he's diverse. I don't know if it's going to be singing, if it's going to be rap, if it's going to be serious, if it's going to be intense. I really don't know what it's going to be, but you, me, we're going to watch this together. Without further ado, Ren and the S word.
Through the cracks of the night sky, a light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Treading.
I did not expect him to come out singing like this. I was kind of thinking maybe, but he just shows every song. You just never know what's going to come next. And interesting how he says, fallen through the cracks of the night sky. And then those words, people wanting to end their life. It's almost like whispers that come from a distance because it's happening. We all know it. We kind of don't talk about it, and it's there. In my profession as a mental health field, it's more real than you think. It's not all the time, but when people get to a point where they just can't think of another option, so often they don't talk about it. They don't voice it. And it's just so hard to catch up to them to the point where we can stop that. Let's check it out.
Suicide, suicide. Treading on the tracks in the night time. It never really felt like the right time. Suicide, suicide, suicide. I'm so fucking lonely beneath this. Narcissistic, can't keep a secret. Miscount sheep, I can't sleep, a misfit. Some say trouble, but some say sadistic. Bruises my brother, one time or the other. My skin felt counterfeit, silicone rubber.
So good. Melds right into the rap music, the way he puts these lyrics out. It really drives it home when I see, skeletons, when I see them dressed kind of the way they are in the video, the reality of like empty beings that aren't here anymore, that represent people that were here before. I'm so lonely beneath this narcissistic, and when he says narcissistic, that kind of self-consuming thing, can't keep a secret, miscount sheep, I can't sleep, a misfit. When you miscount sheep and you can't count them all, he is spinning. It just tells me he's spinning around in his head and he's got some kind of heavy burden, some kind of memory, some kind of life experience that is just driving him into the ground. And the sad part there is so many of us have known somebody who has chosen to end their life. So many of us have been in a place where we've wanted to do that. And so many of us have known people who have tried but didn't. So in one way or another, we're all connected to that typically at some point. Some say troubled, some say sadistic. I think we need to put more words to it. I think we need to put more voice to this topic so that people know it's not taboo. It's not something that needs to be just left out and not discussed. It needs to be discussed with parents. It needs to be discussed with trained professionals. It's not something that, hey, just keep a secret. Don't say anything about this, because I have a feeling he's known somebody, or he himself has been through something where, the more it stays in, the darker it gets, the bigger it gets.
Bruises my brother, one time or the other. My skin felt counterfeit, silicone rubber. Bruises my sister, skin pop the blister. Dig deep, resist the feeling when it hits you. Falling through the cracks of the night sky. A light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide. treading on the tracks in the nighttime. It never really felt like the right time. Suicide, suicide, suicide.
Did you see where earlier he had said, because I want to get that right, my skin felt counterfeit. My skin just didn't feel real. And this topic can make people feel numb. It can make people feel like they don't matter, like their existence isn't worth it here. And also, if you've dealt with somebody else who's been in this position of wanting to just end things, it's like, what's the point? What is this really all about here? Bruises, my sister's skin, pop the blister. When I see that dig deep, resist the feeling when it hits you. Interesting what that could mean for him. Dig deep, resist the feeling when it hits you. Kind of avoid the feeling, stay away from the feeling. To me, instantly, I'm like, try not to go there. Try not to let that overtake you. Try not to let that consume you so that you end up just thinking that's real. So many people who want to end things feel like it's actually a better result. And while it does end things, like it ends your instant pain, it doesn't give you the opportunity to experience joy and the fruits of the other side of experiencing life. I have clients who have wanted to end things for good and tried. And now today are as happy as they've ever been. And they look back and say, wow, I never thought I would see a life. I didn't think this life would exist, but it does. And I think that's what he's trying to say there. You just don't know. And also it creates so many problems for people who are left behind and questions and guilt. Ah! Yeah!
I feel like it's not me, it's the world that's sick. I'm so fucking washed up.
That was a really cool tie-in there that I didn't expect. Going back to the old school. He brings his old music in. Sick, but that was actually my favorite song that he did. And, you get misdiagnosed. You get treated differently. You get treated wrongly. People in the mental health field. I'm in the field. I know it's not perfect. And I know there are a lot of people who don't know what they're doing or don't take their time to build relationship and have compassion and understanding to get to know somebody. And then he brings that old lyric back in. I feel like it's not me. It's the world that's sick. And so often that is the case. There's so much sickness going on. Maybe I'm not so crazy the way that I'm being told that I am.
I feel like it's not me, it's the world that's sick.
Yep.
I'm so fucking washed up and seasick. Masochistic kid with a split lip. 6 feet deep, I can't eat, I'm nervous. Won't stay down cause my body purges. Useless my mother, can't keep in my supper. Skin so pale cause my cheeks leak colour. Truth is my father, you choose your karma. Draw for the sword, then drive through the armor.
I wonder what his background was with family, because that's describing it's either neglect, it's trauma, it's abuse, it's some kind of environment where, developing either eating disorders or a struggle eating. Maybe that's from any kind of sickness that he went through, but it almost sounded like it was way back. But not being able to keep food down, and could be part of the Lyme disease, but it could have been further back too. I just don't know. Draw for the sword, then drive through the armor, just straight through the armor, to do it in, to destroy, to end everything. Truth is my father. These are some lyrics.
My draw for the sword, then drive through the armor. Falling through the cracks of the night sky. A light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Treading on the tracks in the nighttime. It never really felt like the right time. Suicide, suicide, suicide. 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 hard to take off from the ground when your wings are cut. Your stomach burns when you're drinking from an empty cup. You know the entire ocean came from my tear ducts. I see the world through Fibonacci sequences and double Dutch. I guess there's some that's born lucky.
Boy, shifts gears completely. A third gear on this song to something totally different, which is kind of this monologue of his life and who he is and his experience. In perfect words, it's hard to take off from the ground when your wings are cut. When you don't have wings to fly, you're stuck. You can't leave the ground. And so many people feel like in life their wings are cut. That's why I advocate mental health. And I know sometimes people have had bad experiences, but I advocate seeking mental health and looking for a new way. I don't care if it's a support group, if it's a coach, if it's somebody you trust that is a mentor, probably not family or friends all the time just because they're so close. But when your wings are cut, you've got to have somebody to be those wings for you at times to help you be lifted up and know that you're okay and that you can make it. Your stomach burns when you're drinking from an empty cup. It just burns. There's nothing going down. And now the entire ocean is coming from his tear ducts. So many tears, so much sadness that a lot of people don't see. It's in private, it's isolated, and he's doing it on his own.
Ducks, I see the world through Fibonacci sequences and double Dutch. I guess there's some that's born lucky, there's some that's not. I tried to cut away my bitterness, hatchet job. I locked my youth inside a trunk, inside a pickup truck, then dumped the whole thing over that same bridge the night you jumped. I think about that sometimes, vividly, what it felt like to look down and see tranquility. One sudden movement in a world of possibility, only one movement to expose our fragility. I fucking miss you, and I miss myself. I miss thinking we were indestructible as well. I miss chilling by the pier cave and kicking back with Callum, Hugo, Sega, Justin, Stevie and the fucking lads. I miss missing that. I numb myself to close the gap. I never even call them up. The distance is my plaster cast. The truth is that the day you jumped, my childhood jumped too. But I still can't find that anger. All I find is missing you, man, I miss you. With all my rhymes, I picture running 5 minutes quicker, I'm right on time. I picture pulling you back over the edge and then we're crying, and holding you, my brother, and telling you that it's fine. Not the way that it worked, cause I was late like a jerk. There's not a day where I could find a way to break from the hurt. Your body missing, so we never got to wave to the hearse. I hope you're listening, I love you, man, I miss you absurd. Fuck.
Oh my gosh. I couldn't even stop with that because of the story that's being told, the honesty that he tells that with. A friend who he was close with that now he felt responsible for. If I had been there a little bit earlier, if I had gotten there sooner, I could have helped. And the day this happened, that you ended your life, was the day that I lost my childhood. Everything disappeared. I can imagine the burden, the guilt, the pain, the sadness, the loneliness of just not having that friend here, the anger, the confusion of how this could happen. That's the bargaining part of grief that must be going through, and how he said it so well here. He just built a crescendo of what he went through watching this, and especially the picture of him sitting there just talking about his friend and the times they spent together. And that he goes off of a bridge and they can't even wave goodbye in a hearse because they didn't find him. What he must be going through. You never judge a book by its cover with people, and to know the pain, the trauma, the struggle that people have been through that is real, that, you know, it's amazing the beauty of art that can come through the pain that he's had. Look at this. I've got to hear this again.
Suicide.
Listen to that.
It's hard to take off from the ground when your wings are cut. Your
Yep.
stomach burns when you're drinking from an empty cup. You know the entire ocean came from my tear ducts. I see the world through Fibonacci sequences and double Dutch. I guess there's some that's born lucky, there's some that's not. I tried to cut away my bitterness, hatchet job. I locked my youth inside a trunk, inside a pickup truck, then dumped the whole thing over that same bridge the night you jumped. I think about that sometimes, vividly, what it felt like to look down and see tranquility. One sudden movement in a world of possibility, only one movement.
That's true when you look over a bridge like that, which one day could be so tranquil and so nice. But now, with that memory of what happened that day, it will forever be a trigger of a trauma.
To expose our fragility. I fucking miss you, and I miss myself. I miss thinking we were indestructible as well. I miss chilling by the pier cave and kicking back with Callum, Hugo, Sega, Justin, Stevie and the fucking lads. I miss missing that. I numb myself to close the gap. I never even call them up. The distance is my plaster cast. The truth is to the day you jumped, my childhood jumped too. But I still can't find that anger. All I find is missing you, man. I miss you. With all my rhymes, I picture running 5 minutes quicker, I'm right on time. I picture pulling you back over the edge and then we're crying and holding you, my brother, and telling you that it's fine. Not the way that it worked, 'cause I was...
You hear that? Like he has vivid images of being there in time, pulling him back, hugging each other and saying, it's okay, we're going to work through this, life's going to be okay. What he would want to have happened, that he partly feels responsible for and partly feels heartbroken that he can't actually have that happen.
Crying and holding you, my brother, and telling you that it's fine. Not the way that it works. I was late like a jerk. There's not a day where I could find a way to break from the hurt. Your body missing, so we never got to wave to the hearse. I hope you're listening. I love you, man. I miss you absurd. Fuck.
Just wants to tell him that it's okay. He just wants to tell him that you're okay. It's fine. It's okay. We can work through this. Life can be okay. That is the ultimate message so often with people who are struggling with just that decision of wanting to be here or not, is that I promise you, at least as a mental health professional, I promise you it is worth it. I promise you that being here has purpose and has meaning. There is somebody in this world who needs you, and there is somebody who that's in this world that you need to see that there is hope. And having seen it myself on both sides of the coin here, it is so critical to reach out and to get help and to spread awareness of what this topic is, so it's not so taboo and it's not something that we just try to avoid and not talk about or think that it's a problem. So well put by Ren here. And the way that he did 3 different parts of this song, by singing, by rapping, and then by giving a monologue at the end that had so much power in it. Kudos to him on that, and to bringing and shedding light on this topic. It's really cool. But remember, Sid and Real Therapy, it's just me breaking down lyrics. If you want help, check the links. We have resources there that might be helpful for you. Give us your comments. Let us know what you think about it, because your opinion matters. Your mental health matters as well. I can't wait to see you on the next Reaction Therapy.